Welcome back guys to another one. Well, with summer on full blast, I think it's a perfect time to talk about CPU coolers. Thus presenting Be Quiet's new ShadowRock Slim 2, which is more of an evolution to the model that it replaces. So let's see it in action. This is a direct replacement to the model of the same name, which brings some tweaks and improvements over the first gen, like direct contact with the heat pipes, a revised and modern mounting system, and a subtle aesthetic refinement. The same 100W TDP and the 135mm Silent Wings 3 fans are preserved. Overall, the ShadowRock Slim 2 is still a symmetrical single tower and thus a compact cooling solution. You can grab one for around $45, which is a good deal considering its cooling potential. It retains the classic layout and color theme from Be Quiet, as in an all-black background with a minimalist style and a visual depiction of the actual CPU cooler on the front. On the back we have some highlights of the ShadowRock Slim 2 regarding its quiet operation, supported CPU TDP and the hassle-free compatibility. Then here we have all of the main specs for the single tower heatsink and the included 135mm fan. All of the supplied accessories are located in this box, with everything distributed in Ziploc bags. Thus, here is a quick overview of all of the individual parts. Now let's focus on the included fan, which has 9 ribbed blades, and it's basically from the same 135mm Silent Wings 3 series as the one used in the previous version. It's built on rifle bearings with the motor featuring a 4-pole design, and thus it's rated up to 80,000 hours or 9 years of continuous usage. It will spin up to 1400 RPM and it can displace up to 67.8 CFM of airflow. The rest of the specs are on screen. Now here is the 52 aluminum fin single tower assembly of the ShadowRock Slim 2, which stands at 161mm tall, 130mm wide and 52 thick. The base plate has taller heatsink fins when compared to the first generation. Another difference constitutes the top plate, which is more of an aesthetic quick to tell apart cube. With the ShadowRock Slim 2, it has a more uniform look without the extra cuts from the previous cooler. It still features the brushed aluminum finish and thus it looks really good. The 4 copper 6mm thick heat pipes have their ends nicely covered with metal caps, as we just saw, and now they are in direct contact with the CPU on the other end. The contact plate has an almost mirror polish with fine tracings from the machining process. The overall heatsink has a full symmetrical build with some airflow grooves cutouts on both sides of the tower. Finally, the fan offers up to 22 cm of cable length, and with it attached, the overall package weighs in at 685 grams. Thanks to the upgraded mounting hardware, the upcoming installation process, especially on the AM4 socket, will be a breeze. The first step is to retain the stock motherboard AM4 backplate after you remove the front plastic brackets. Then attach the black AM4 plastic spacers in the correct orientation. Secure the metal AM4 brackets while making sure you select the corresponding socket holes. Apply the thermal paste and just bolt down the heatsink via the crossbar. So, as Be Quiet promised, there is no interference all around, specifically the PCIe area, VRM heatsinks and the RAM sticks. As you can see, everything is hunky-dory. Regarding testing, the CPU will be overclocked to 3.7 GHz across all cores with a voltage of 1.325 volts. The ambient was around 22 degrees Celsius. First up is the Cinebench R15 test. Considering some of the other items on the chart, I would say it's doing really well, especially since the Silverstone Hydrogon is a dual tower dual fan model at around the same price range. Next up is R20, which is very demanding on the CPU, but still even here we are sitting comfortably regarding CPU longevity in correlation to temperature, which I would say to be under 80 degrees. Curiously, Cinebench R20 proves to be as intensive as AIDA64, so we basically get kinda the same results and thus the same hierarchy. Then a quick benchmark run in Rise of the Tomb Raider poses no threat here and we get really good results. Now the noise output is a highly welcome surprise from the ShadowRock Slim 2 cooler because it delivers great results. The mention is, of course, the fan will become audible after 70 to 80% RPM and above. Also, here is a quick audio sample that goes through the whole RPM range of the fan. Well, there you have it guys, the Shadow Rock Slim 2 is a logical upgrade from Be Quiet over the first model, and with the help of some subtle yet effective tweaks, it manages to offer great value for money. Now that the mounting hardware is way less complex from the previous generation, and now especially on the AM4 socket, installation becomes a breeze. It's not specifically built for overclocking, yet it still manages to hold its ground within reasonable limits of course. The same Silent Wings 3 fan is preserved, which is a proven model offering a great balance of noise and cooling performance. Just make sure guys you have enough space in your case because it's quite tall at 161mm. Overall, the Shadow Rock Slim 2 is a budget solution, but one that truly delivers. Thank you for watching guys, and see you in the next one. Alex out.